Mr. Jamie Stillman, we are here again at NAMM, now 2019, but at our favorite spot outside besides the dumpsters.
By the crates.
And the crates, where it's nice and quiet. Like the noise levels are already through the floor in there. And I gotta admit, this is my favorite thing about NAMM. My highlight being out here with you in the sun and the quiet. Yeah, thank you. I need that. Could you like a shoulder rub? No, but let's be serious. Yeah, this got weird really quick, but I like that. Let's talk about your new product, man.
Okay.
I feel like I tried it. I did. It's called the Swiss Things. Could you quickly explain what it is and what the idea behind it is?
So the Swiss Things is 2 effects loops, a booster, an ABY box with expression control out for volume, and a tuner output. It's a pedalboard reconciler.
Cool. And knowing you, you're not like the guy lording over spreadsheets and market trend data and stuff like that. If I know you, you tend to create stuff that you would like for yourself.
Right. Yeah.
So what was like the Jamie Stillman problem you were trying to solve with this one?
How this came about?
Yeah.
So I was talking to a friend of mine. His name's Yoda. He's in the band Mono. They use a lot of pedals.
I love Mono.
Yeah, me too. Great band.
Yeah.
So he was, kind of explaining what they do and like kind of his ideal scenario. And that started me thinking. I had bought a bunch of MIDI switchers over the years, or just basic loop switchers, and I built myself things, and then I put it all together, and I'm like, great, now I just made my pedal board more complicated.
Yeah.
Where I could just turn the pedal on and off right behind the looper. What's the point of that? Why did I just make that thing? And then a lot of the other stuff, it's just too over my head. It's too technical. I don't like to read manuals. I don't like menu diving and effects, and I don't need a lot of really crazy stuff. So is this trash about to come through here?
I think it is.
Let's go behind the camera.
Could you film that? Yeah.
So those are all the Swiss things. So yeah, but it, I had always kind of noticed, my pedal board fluctuates. Sometimes I'll have 20 pedals, sometimes I'll have 10, but I don't use them all the time. I use pedals very sparingly in my bands. And I always notice, you plug into, what every guitar player knows. You plug straight into the amp, it's brighter. It's a hotter signal. It's more like what your amp and your guitar sounds like. So I was always kind of hunting for something to use, really, to get the pedals out of the chain when I'm not using them.
Yeah.
And, make it uncomplicated and make it small. And while doing that, why not solve my volume pedal issues? Every volume pedal that I ever used was, big or problematic in some way or the other. But I loved having a volume pedal specifically just to mute for tuning, the tuner out on all of them. Do a couple swells here and there. I like to get fancy.
Like me, Mr. Fancy. But also what I noticed with the expression input is also that it's placed in between the 2 loops.
Exactly.
So when you do volume swells, it doesn't mess with your gains.
Yeah, the gain structure. And that was a big thing for me too, because I always felt like the volume pedals just work best up front, and that's just where I put them. I could have not put them there and seen what happens, but that's where I always would put it. Maybe just for ease of wiring and, right-footed. Like to do it like that. Yeah. Whatever. So, I was like, well, why don't I just make it expression, just an expression jack for volume control. It's got buffers on either side. It keeps the signal nice and strong. You don't get any tone loss from it. And then you can use whatever in there and it's fine. So, that's a big part of it. And then, my problem with having the volume pedal in front of dirt is a lot of that stuff for me is really touchy. You put it in one place and it sounds great when the guitar is all the way on, hitting it as hard as it can. So I didn't want to mess with that. So I put that volume expression after loop 1. So I guess this is the part where I should probably explain how the pedal is structured internally, because it seems to be very confusing for a lot of people.
Yeah, you have this like fancy diagram. Go through that.
Yeah, we get a lot of questions like, how
screen.
does this switch my amps channels?
Yeah.
So loop 1 goes to output A, and loop B goes, you know, that's not how it works. It's all linear. You go in, and it's immediately split to your tuner output, and then it goes into loop 1, and loop 1 is unbuffered beforehand. So that's where I would recommend, like, if you have fuzz faces or things like that, which I use, you put it in there. There's no buffer to muck it up. So then you can just turn all of those pedals in loop 1 on and off. After that is a buffer. Yep. And then after that is the volume expression. So, you can have tons of fuzz, roll it back. It's always fuzzy. Just quieter fuzzy.
Quieter fuzz.
Yeah. And then it goes into loop 2, and then it goes into the booster, and then it goes into the output section, which is the ABY box, basically. Yeah. A or B, or both. B, transformer isolated. Keep down with, ground loops and noise.
Besides all of that, it has some, like, nifty hidden features.
Yes.
Like flexi switching.
Flexi switching.
Could you explain what that is?
Yeah, flexi switching is both momentary and lashing switch.
Which is freaking awesome.
Yes, thank you.
Because that means you can actually just instantly jump in and out of an entire signal chain.
Correct. Yeah.
I love that.
So you hold it down and release, and it'll just be on for the amount of time you're holding it down. Yeah. You let go, off. Or you just tap it like a regular switch, and it works just like switches you know and love.
That's what I like about you guys. Like, even though you've exposed yourself as a complete dad rocker right now with a utility pedal, you actually managed to put some really nifty hidden tricks in there that can, like, enhance your creativity.
Yeah, it is a pretty, I guess it is a little bit dad rockery, a little tone snobby for me, but it is a thing that I, for whatever reason, like, I don't know. I was always concerned, but I played it cool like I wasn't. Because it's not cool to worry about your tone.
Exactly.
But it is,
But now you have a cool product that solves that issue for you.
Yeah, and that was another big thing. Like, it's kind of set up, you put it in the upper right-hand corner of your pedal board. That's how I envision it.
Yeah.
Just because all your ins and outs are all in one place, and it kind of tidies everything up. And then you could, get all your pedals out of the signal path.
It looks super clean, like the boards you have set up at the booth.
Yeah.
It does look super nice.
I feel like
when you have that all set up.
it helps organize. And the booster in it is, a lot of people have asked this, like, is it an Arrows? Is it a Black Eye? Is it something else I made? No, it's not. It's kind of its own thing. It doesn't really, it kind of just enhances, like, the top end sparkle. I can't believe that I'm saying those words. And, like, boosts low end a little subtly.
Wrote you,
yeah.
Like, does this boost do anything to my tone? Because I kind of like it better with it on.
Yeah,
it does do some subtle enhancing.
Just a tiny, tiny little bit, but it's its own thing. And then the other thing about it that I think kind of just enhances the tone in general is that it takes a 9-volt input and just splits it into plus minus 9 volts, so there's a lot more headroom. And I kind of feel, well, I mean, you can see it, but you can hear it, so why you can feel it too, right?
It's all about feel.
Yeah, it's about feelings.
Yes. You know me so well. It's all about feelings.
And
man.
that just made me feel sad that I said that out loud.
It makes me feel like I'm not alone.
Yeah, it just makes the signal just a little bit more present. I feel like it's a little bit more dimensional.
Cool. So I remember last year, just to head towards wrapping this up, you mentioned that you had the roadmap entirely planned out for 2018 back then.
Yeah.
How does it look now? Is everything planned, ready to go, are you ready to, like, play it a bit by ear?
I probably started playing it a little bit by ear, like, as soon as those words came out of my mouth last year, because the Swiss Things was not even on my radar. I think I put it together in April. For me, pretty much, and I've had it on my pedal board because we were about to leave for a tour, and I was like, oh, cool. So, and then I was like, this thing is amazing, and everyone's like, yeah, with your stupid switcher box. What's it do? Like, it just routes, nothing? Great.
Yeah, there's no sound.
Yeah. So I was super excited about it. So that one was a surprise. I am working on a lot of things.
In the
But
dad rock vein, or in
not too many things in the dad rock vein. More in a little bit more experimental at this point.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. But it's like a lot of things, and I'm a little loose right now for the first time in a couple of years.
In a good way, or
It makes me happy because I love being loose. But it's probably really difficult for everyone to make plans. But got a lot of stuff coming up.
hey man,
Got a lot of things coming up. A lot of weird things. Probably some more dad rock stuff too, though.
cool.
Got a lot more utility pedal ideas that are pretty
Really?
interesting. Yeah.
Okay, that's gonna be cool, man.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see how the rest of the year shapes
Thanks.
out. And I have to say, I think I've been saying this every year. Like, you did it with the Space Spiral. Do we need more modulated delay? Apparently, yes. You did it with the Westwood. Do we need more overdrive? Apparently, yes.
Mm-hmm.
You release a utility pedal. Do we need more of that? Do I need that? Apparently, yes.
Yeah.
Because it has some really cool features.
Thanks.
I just want to thank you for that.
I want to thank you. What's your year look like? What do you
Huh?
have? What do you have planned this year?
What I have planned for this year?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do I get to do some more EarthQuaker demos?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all
That's
you
my
get to
year.
do.